All righty.
I don't have anybody across the street.
Does Hector do all of it? I thought you
Yeah.
did some of it too.
He does most of it.
Okay, you bet, yeah.
White balance and stuff, everything's all automatic these days.
This is nice. I mean, I called Chief Anderson this morning. That's the funeral.
Cool shoes.
These are the Kawans, the other guys. These are just the ones that.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Nike soles. Nike soles come full shoes.
Okay, thanks.
Smartest part of policing.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, you never know how long you'll be out on the scene.
Oh, totally.
And I called Chief Anderson. I was like, hey, Chief, like, we're doing this press briefing. I'm like, I'm not in uniform. The other day, I was like, this picture.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm in a suit. He's like, oh, yeah, that's it, that's it. Yeah, nobody.
If your hair was back, I would recognize it.
Yeah.
I see people that have ever seen your hair. Ever.
Probably not. And like fire, when they get dressed up in their class A's, they can get their hair done. He doesn't.
Well, you clean up nice.
Thank you, thank you. Just waiting on a few more, maybe?
Well, we gotta wait for our speakers.
While we're waiting, I'll give you an update on our ClearCom issue. So they are able to talk in the control room and hear over here, but not the other way around. They can't talk here and here. So what they've decided, all the connections are good. What they think is there's a faulty card inside the equipment. So they need to do something with that. So
Will they give us a headset over here?
no, not yet. So it's not working. So what they're going to do is they're going to set up another time with me and Todd Argis to do another one of these. We just ran out of time. They probably could have done something about it, but if it's a card swap, they're going to have to
Because I was
the
wondering.
unit in. Fix it. So
Okay.
whatever.
2 weeks.
We've been 2 years without it, so I'm not really concerned.
Yeah.
We'll get it when we get it.
Right.
But at least they kind of narrowed down the
Almost
issue.
there.
Okay.
Nikki, I just put this out. So another update,
Okay.
that it's open, and then this little map
Are
here.
you, I'm assuming you're on school today, then?
Shows people like, hey,
Oh,
here's where
that
you
is
can turn.
perfect.
Here's-
You
and
did
I
this
only have
now?
2 Yeah.
Well, you need to show us how to do that kind of thing. That's cool.
So, just pulling it from, I probably should
Schools
have
are
done
saps.
it with Google Earth,
Mhm.
satellite view, but
Mhm.
I wanted to make sure people understand the streets and didn't get confused with the streets. So,
Mhm.
hey, you go right, you go right, you go north and south, and that's it.
That's really good.
So,
Is that like an image you could send us so we can put it in with our release tonight?
yeah, I'll
Okay.
just, can I text it to you? Or you know?
And Chris and Susie, do you have their names? Or it's okay, just
I'll
to
just
me is
email.
fine.
I'll email it to you guys. Susie?
Yeah, and Chris.
What's the status of approvals on the videos? So we can go back from
Steph had one adjustment and then Ada will.
Let me ask, because when this is over, I kind of need to go. There's a barbecue parent meeting thing for the football team. It's like
Nice.
it's their last, they did 3 weeks of incoming freshman practice for the football team. And tonight is like a big, welcome to the whatever parent information night thing. And that starts at 5:30. So when this is over, I can.
Yeah,
That's okay.
of course, yeah.
Thank you. It's so crazy seeing Jack actually run. Like I've only ever seen him sit behind a computer. To see him running is a new experience. He's really enjoying it though, so that's good.
That is good. Hey. Yay. Okay. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Thanks. Bye. Daniel's coming again for you.
We got to tell him
week sometime?
Yeah.
Julian's on his way, right?
As far as I know. Hi, Doug.
How are things? Are we on the air yet?
Doing? Not yet.
There's always a hotline.
Good to see you. Do you know Detective Barella from?
Hi, Natalie Brella.
Hey, Natalie.
Hi. Hi. Oh, nice to meet you. I was just telling you, like, I don't think I've ever had to like contact ADOT in all the years, so. It is, it's interesting because we do so many things obviously together, but. Football traffic, people hanging out on the bridge. Yeah.
Over there, or do you want to start
I've
staying?
been- Last year we had the training run. Andrew lost. That was a mess. This is the mess of the summer right here. This is gonna be it though, the summer.
Sit up in those chairs.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Right, fingers crossed?
Yeah.
I don't think we've met. I'm Natalie.
Oh, yeah,
Hi.
nice to meet you, I'm Tara.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, there he is.
You never have to contact water.
Congrats on graduating.
Thank you. It was awesome. I had such a great experience.
Check, check, check. Channel 12. Get me. Looks like this is I think this is a new one. Somebody added that, I think. Everybody good? Check, 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 check. You got me okay? All right.
It's a little quieter.
Yeah, it is. What do you think it's supposed to be?
My daughter goes to Jacobson Elementary. It's Queen Creek and all the school, basically. And my son is right across the street at junior high, Global Junior High.
Oh, that's what I'm at.
Oh, really?
I just moved to last week.
Oh, so, yeah, that's why. My wife is the principal of Jacobson Elementary.
That's right by me, because I'm on South.
Okay. It's a really nice area.
Yeah, just so lucky to be,
You walked just recently.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're over in the woods, it was just school.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch right there. just in 6 feet. Or like, you sure this isn't riding out on the road?
I know, right?
Hello, good afternoon. I think we're about ready to get started here. Nikki Ripley with the City of Tempe. I'm Communication and Media Relations Manager. Today, you're going to hear from several different people. You're going to hear first from Julian Dresang. He's the city engineer. It's Julian Dresang. You'll hear next from ADOT's engineering administrator, and that's Raul Amavisca, Raulamavisca. Finally, you'll hear from Tempe Police Detective Natalie Barella, Nataliebarela. First and foremost, it's really important to stress how job number one today and the last several days and moving forward in the near term is getting the freeway open. You'll hear a lot about that today. Today we won't have any cost estimates to offer you. That will come at a later date. We also have no conclusions or ability to speculate on cause of the break itself today. We're posting new video from the site, including some of the new concrete work, some new footage for you at that YouTube playlist that we put out. You go to youtube.com/Tempe11video. Under playlists, it's the first organized playlist. And then we've established tempe.gov/US-60, where we're also posting a number of assets for your use and for the public's viewing as well. So with that, let's go first to City Engineer Julian Dresang.
Thank you. I'd like to take the time to update you on our progress towards opening the US-60 freeway. It's been 5 days now since the water main break. Since then, we've been working around the clock on repairs and now have a much better understanding of all the needed repairs for the project. Eastbound US-60 pavement has the least amount of damage. The first segment of reinforced concrete has already been poured. The second final segment of reinforced concrete is planned to be poured later tonight. To expedite the construction, special early strength concrete is being used. Once tests of the concrete demonstrate that it has hardened sufficiently, an asphalt surface will be installed on top. Shortly thereafter, the pavement can be striped and the roadway open to traffic. If all goes to plan, we anticipate eastbound US-60 to be open to traffic early next week. Westbound US-60 has the greatest amount of damage and will require pavement removal and replacement for the full width of the freeway. We don't have an estimate for opening westbound US-60 at this time, but we are working as quickly as possible to make that happen.
Good afternoon. My name is Raul Amavisca. I'm the engineering administrator for the ADOT's Central District, and I just wanted to compliment the City of Tempe. They've been a great partner and the leader on this issue. So, and I'll be really willing to I'll be ready to answer questions, especially when I get my mouth working, and right after we allow those other speakers to have a statement. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. On behalf of the Tempe Police Department, we just wanted to give an update regarding some traffic issues that we're seeing due to this closure. Obviously, with McClintock, north and southbound being closed several times yesterday and again today, we've seen a significant backup in our neighborhoods. So our Traffic Bureau has implemented additional stop times at lights to alleviate some of that. So now that northbound and southbound is open on the overpass, that hopefully will free up some traffic there. And we ask people not to utilize neighborhoods and streets, side streets, to try to get through. When you head northbound or southbound, you're going to be allowed to make a right turn to access the US-60. So again, if you're traveling southbound, you're able to take a right turn, access US-60. If you're heading northbound, you can take a right turn and access the US-60 eastbound. So again, we're asking for people's patience. Our traffic motors will be out, again, first thing tomorrow morning, running those additional stop times at the lights to alleviate some traffic. And we'll continue to monitor and continue to work with the City of Tempe to make sure that traffic flow happens safely, especially during our rush hour in the morning and the evening hours.
Questions? Go
How many sections are you all checking for breaks right now?
On the freeway itself, are you referencing?
No, where the break was along McClintock Drive.
I'll ask Tara Ford, the interim municipal utilities director, to come and talk about anything water line related.
Yeah, the water line itself, we've identified the break in the line. We put a camera down in the line, identified one area. That's the only one that is exposed at this time. Let's just say that's broken. So there's one area.
Are you going to have to open up any other parts of McClintock Drive?
Not at this time. You mean to assess the water line? No, we've already done that. The sections that we need to, that's complete.
Why was McClintock Drive shut down today? Did it have to do with the bridge and the cracking?
It would be traffic.
Yeah, so what we did is we did what we call a soft closure. And so we were seeing backup as far as baseline. And then north of the 60, we were seeing it backed up east all the way to Country Club Way. So in order to alleviate some of that traffic, we just did a soft closure, only allowing local business residents to get through there. And many people were trying to make that left-hand turn to access the freeway. Significant backup. As you can imagine, when you have that significant backup, we were seeing lots of little small fender benders, collisions. And so we were trying to avoid that until we could access those lanes fully. I think working with the city engineering, our traffic bureau, allowing that right-hand turn to access the freeway is really going to alleviate that. So having that northbound, southbound now open, hopefully people will continue to use alternate routes. We encourage people to use the Loop 101, Price Frontage Road, Rural, Priest. We understand there's, some sort of inconvenience by utilizing these other roadways. But again, when we have those backups, it's causing backups into the neighborhood. We had neighborhoods that were gridlocked. Obviously, we still have our Tempe schools in. So we're trying to pull that traffic away and only allowing for local business and local residents through there. So hopefully now that it's open, that will hopefully solve part of the problem.
Can you go over again the process that you guys are going to be taking to open up the eastbound lanes early next week and then eventually hopefully the westbound lanes?
Yeah, so I can speak to that. So the first step is we need to do the repairs to the roadway. And so under the roadway on US-60 is a reinforced concrete portion, and then there's an asphalt layer that's on top of that. So there's two segments of that are currently being repaired. The first one has already been poured of the reinforced concrete, with the second one being poured later on this evening. Then we have to make sure that concrete hardens because we're going to have large traffic on there. Once that we know that concrete has reached its needed strength, then the asphalt layer will be put on top, and then again striping, and we'll open it up. So we're hoping that's it, the process that'll go through, and if there aren't any other unexpected things that arise, we anticipate that early next week that we can open it up. Westbound is a lot more improvements that need to make place. So in this case, on eastbound, it's only in the HOV lane. For westbound, it's all the lanes, and so it's just a much larger amount of material that has to be removed and then replaced and installed. So that's the reason that it's going to take longer to demo, put back in new material, and open it up. But we are working as quickly as possible. It's also a difficult working location. It's right underneath the McClintock Bridge area, so we want to make sure that we're not damaging that existing infrastructure, making sure that it's safe for all the workers as well as safe for all the users of the roadway system, both on the freeway and on McClintock. So the reason that we can open 60 eastbound earlier is just there's significantly less damage to the roadway as westbound.
Yeah, and for the westbound, are we looking at weeks or months, or is there a ballpark estimate?
I don't want to give anything out at this time. Just all I can say is that we're working as quickly as possible, and as we have that information, we will work with ADOT and Tempe staff to get that information out as quickly as possible.
Well, how old is the water main line?
I'm going to have to defer to our water utilities group to speak about the water line.
Yes, thank you. That particular transmission line is 50 years old. Yes.
So just to follow. that particular area where you have the bridge and that dip, where I know you guys said you don't have an idea of what caused the break to begin with, but does the two factor in, does the bridge factor into why there's a possible break there?
There's no reason for us to believe that at this time, and once we excavate down to the break itself, because what we all have now is camera footage. So once we uncover it, we'll know more then, but at this time, there's no reason to think that.
When it comes to the cracks on columns for the McClintock overpass, just curious, is the roadway safe on McClintock overpass now?
Thank you. So we regularly do bridge inspections. Our bridge group does bridge inspections, and they had, in the past, noted some there, but I'm confident that our bridge group has reviewed it, and it actually has reviewed it yesterday, and will have an analysis of how it'll work. Or at this point, there is no problem. I don't see. I have the utmost confidence in our bridge group to tell us whether it's safe or not. And from what I see personally, it's on the outside. So that's to the extent of my knowledge. It appears to be external, but I would say that our bridge group will provide the best analysis for that.
So it is safe to travel on?
Yes, it wouldn't. Yes, to my knowledge, it would be, and I'd be happy to go into it a little further if you'd like after the press conference.
Okay, and then we did send the picture of the cracking to an ASU civil engineer, and they noted that the crack does appear to be fresh, so that would be a new crack. I know that you guys noted old cracks in the past, so is it from the standing water, and is it a fresh crack to the structure as well?
So our bridge group has looked at it, and they'll provide an evaluation here shortly. I don't see that it was. They actually went on site and reviewed it, as opposed to just looking at pictures, so they were up close.
Do you guys have the manufacturer for the water?
To my knowledge, the manufacturer name is not something we know at this point in time.
Any timeline? I know we've been asking for.
You have been.
Since this weekend.
I don't have a time frame for when we'll know the manufacturer. It's a 50-year-old pipe, so as soon as we know, we'll let you know. Good.
What about the office plazas and the businesses impacted with water? When should they expect to receive water again? I know residential homes aren't, but never asked about the businesses.
Yeah, those businesses were back in full water use yesterday from City of Tempe. Yes.
Is there any concern that this could happen in other locations, being that this is 50-year-old piping, a foot and a half underground?
At this time, like I said previously, we never couldn't have anticipated this happening with the material this pipe is made out of. It's steel cylinder. Life expectancy is well over 75 years. So at this time, no, but we are still continuing on with our water line and transmission line assessment programs that we are doing.
Knowing that there's the 75-year time span, and this is about 50 years old,
Mm-hmm.
are you now, going forward, looking at how, when it comes time to do any type of infrastructure changes, switching out this type of piping, or maybe doing that before?
Yeah, anything, there's always new technology out there and new types of pipe and ways that you can lay them, or sleeves you can put on, and Tempe's always innovative in looking at those, looking at new ways to improve on infrastructure to prevent anything like this from happening.
Just my last question, and it might be for the city engineer. When it comes to, or even down on the highway, but along McClintock Drive, is there any risk for sinkholes now that we know that water's been kind of in that area or driving along?
Do you mean
Or
on the
any type
freeway
of
itself? Is the question related to the freeway itself?
I mean, I was thinking of either or is there any risk on McClintock or, since that line has gone under there, if it's leaking anywhere else, or is there potential for sinkholes or any road caving in with cars on top of it?
Yeah, I don't think that we anticipate, based on the break and the location, that there would be sinkholes. We will, we'll continue to monitor the area, but that isn't a current concern too much. On the freeway itself, we know that during large storm events, large amounts of water collect on the freeway system, and we've seen that before. So it's not unusual because of our monsoon season and such to have large amounts of water on our roadway system and on the freeway system. So at this point, we don't anticipate that there's that risk.
I just wanted to add that we are working with the city of Tempe on doing core sampling in a couple of different areas on the freeway. And so haven't found anything that gives us an idea that there's a problem.
Has any other projects on either I-10, I know you guys are already building the Broadway curve, any of those projects, are they being halted in this situation because of crew manpower to switch to fix this issue, or is all the projects still going on as planned that you were prior to this break?
For the most part, all the other projects are going forward as planned. There was one minor modification on a closure for the Broadway curve project, just to avoid conflicts with the closure of US-60.
And what was that? What was those minor adjustments?
So the projects that they had, we just didn't want to put more traffic diving into a freeway that was closed. It just doesn't work out that way. So that other closure was not put in place. So it was planned, it was like a two-part closure, eastbound, westbound. And the closure that would have conflicted was halted.
Thanks, Ron. All right. Good. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your time.